So I want to finish talking about AEW. I just want to talk about the storylines that don't really have to do with the title, but it sometimes surrounds the title, right? So let's start with Hook. So we have Hook, right? And we have Hook and the Patriarchy. Thank God that we're gonna finally have Hook versus Christian Cage at AEW Maximum Mayhem. Because I feel like, this storyline has been going on for a while and it's not boring. It really isn't. But I just feel like I would really like him to finally get his hands on Christian Cage. They did a good job. Clearly, I'm a fan. And I'm just like, please let's have this match. And let's give Christian Cage what he deserves for literally beating up Hook's dad because he wanted to be Hook's father, to be his mentor, to have Hook join his family. And the interesting thing about this whole Christian Cage thing is that not only is he having an enemy in Hook, he is having an enemy in Jon Moxley and the whole Death Riders, right? Because he has that contract that he can sign at any time to go for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, he's not stupid. But he did talk a lot of crap about Jon Moxley and how he's going to be getting that title sooner rather than later. And so I'm just very interested to see, where we're going to go from there. But I can't wait to see this Hook versus Christian Cage match. I know the Patriarchy is going to get involved. They always get involved. But I've been really kind of liking this slow build. I just really want to watch that match. That's all. I'm just a fan. Now, we have MJF. MJF had this really long feud with Adam Cole, right? And it's over. It ended at World's End. And you know what's crazy? MJF won that match. Don't get me wrong. He got beat up by the whole Undisputed Era. He got beat up by Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, and he got beat up by Kyle O'Reilly, who made up with Adam Cole, even though they should have never had a fight to begin with. It should have never been a fight between those two to begin with. They should have never been arguing. But whatever, that's what they wanted to do. So MJF is done with him, right? He's like, poof, I'm over you. And he wants to get at his title. He said he wants his Triple B back. But the thing about MJF is that he says he doesn't want to work for it. He says it feels like he would have to do a lot of work. When he was talking to Jeff Jarrett this past Wednesday, he said it feels like I have to do a lot of work to get that title. And I'm just interested to see how he's going to try to earn a title shot without having to do a lot of work. I mean, is he going to pay somebody off? If he's not going to pay them off? I don't know. Because, MJF does everything through money. And he's very sneaky and conniving. And then he's smart. So he can figure out how to get there without getting into the gauntlet. He could have easily gotten into... I thought he was going to put himself in that casino gauntlet to try to be a number one contender. But as it turns out, no. That's too much work for him. And so how are we going to get there, MJF? Now, the other storyline I want to talk about is Adam Page and this Christopher Daniel thing that's been going on, right? Because I'm a little bit, intrigued here. Because, Christopher Daniels has been trying to kind of get Adam Page to see reasoning. Because Swerve broke Hangman. He broke him and the moment he broke him was when he broke into his house and talked to his baby. After that, Adam Page has been unhinged, which he has reason to be. But Christopher Daniels, has been trying to get Adam Page to kind of see the light and to chill. Telling him not everybody's your enemy. I'm still your friend. I know what happened was wrong. I'm here for you. But what I found very interesting was that at World's End, when he told Adam Page, hey, I have your back. I know that the Death Riders are going to try to come and do shenanigans. I'll be there for you. He was nowhere to be found in that main event scene. Whatsoever. He was nowhere to be found. And so I'm like, didn't you just tell this man you had his back? Were you lying to him? Why? Why are you lying? Right? And so we just this past Wednesday had an interview with Adam Page. And, it was either on Dynamite or Collision. I can't remember. But there was an interview with Adam Page. And Christopher Daniels is like, hey, I need you to chill. I need you to calm down. And Adam Page called him out and said, where were you? You said you had my back and you were nowhere near me. And then, he's like, well, I thought you had it. What? I don't understand. But anyway, then Adam Page just starts to completely like go for his jugular. He's like, you're a has-been. You didn't do anything for wrestling. You're no one. Yo, he really hit a nerve because this freaking guy went crazy and just started beating up Adam Page. And I have to say, I did not think in 2025 I was going to see Christopher Daniels in a feud with Hangman Adam Page because he was trying to be a good friend, or was he? He didn't have his back, y'all. He didn't have his back. That's weird. And so I'm intrigued. I am really, really intrigued about this. But anyway, those are just the 3 storylines I really wanted to talk about, because those are not like storylines for the belt, but they kind of are for the belt. They're just kind of sideline storylines that can easily get into the main event storyline. And so I'm interested to see it. But anyway, thank you for watching. Y'all, I had to come back. I'm sorry. I forgot one. I forgot Kenny Omega. How could I be? Ugh. Anyway. So I want to talk about Kenny Omega because he's officially back. And all I have to say about this is that I'm glad that he can wrestle. Like, when I heard what he had and that he had to get like 2 feet of his intestines removed, that's a lot. That is a lot. Clearly, his wrestling style is going to change because of his ailments. But at least he can wrestle. You know, that's what he loves to do. He loves to wrestle. And it's really hard when somebody takes... Not somebody, but when your passion is taken away from you very abruptly. Like, it is not an easy thing to get over. And so, to find out that he's doing well... He was just wrestling in New Japan... you know, and so I'm very happy for him. I'm very glad that he's doing really well. I don't know what his feud is going to be. I really don't. Like, he came out after Okada won the Continental Classic and kept his title, and he gave him a title. And then he came back and he explained, hey, you know, his journey through being able to wrestle again, and even wondering if he could ever wrestle again. And then came out Don Callis, and he went after Don Callis. Let me tell you this, yo, Don must have, he did piss him off. He did betray Kenny Omega, and so he went after Don Callis like a dog goes after a bone. Okay, yo, he was on him like white on rice. And then you had Brian Cage and Lance Archer, and they came to beat him up, and then they hit him in his abdomen. And, you know, even though I know, you know, he's okay, it's still rough to see. It's like anytime you saw Daniel Bryan getting hit in his neck, just knowing all about his injuries. And not just him, Adam Copeland getting hurt in his neck. Like, you know, we remember as fans these injuries because, you know, we had to say goodbye to some of them because of these injuries from wrestling. And so watching him come back, getting hit in the gut, and then Will Ospreay came out to defend him, even though they're enemies, okay? But Will, you know, has turned the leaf, and he's like friends with everybody now. Like, after the Continental Classic, he became friends with Darby Allin. He just faced Buddy Matthew, and he had faced Bodie King in the Continental Classic. And so he was like, hey, bro, or like, bruv, you know, I respect you. I've always wanted to wrestle you. This is what he told Buddy Murphy. And he said, you know, you don't need... Not Buddy Murphy. Buddy Matthews. Buddy Matthews, you know. Hard to keep the names together. But anyway, he basically told him, I got your back. You don't need a leader. You're fine on your own, right? And so, very interesting, because I'm like, ooh, you know, Malachi Black ain't gonna like that. You just told one of his people to leave him. So very interesting, but then he comes out to help Omega. So I don't know where it's going. It's going somewhere. I'm having a little bit more faith in AEW storyline because they seem to trying to actually tell real stories, actually tell long-term stories while also telling mini feud stories, and they have improved. I've been enjoying their show immensely. And so I'm just gonna wait and see what happens, but I had to come back to talk about that, y'all. My bad, okay? Thank you for watching.